Surprise, surprise, friends, I have moved.
So we bought a new house, which is a whole story on its own, but we essentially took a really quick closing date and in 7 days went from no plans of moving, like we were literally gonna stay here and add an addition, to packing up our entire lives. Which, in case you're wondering, I kind of 0 out of 10 recommend moving when you are in your second trimester with a 1, 3, and 5-year-old at home, but you know, I like to live life on the edge. So I've been neck deep in packing, which means I've also been neck deep in decluttering, because there's something really motivating about moving that makes you reevaluate all of your stuff and what you want to take with you. It's kind of like when you have company over and you just have a new level of motivation to clean things that you usually wouldn't clean in just your day-to-day cleaning. Moving really gives you this unique lens to look at your stuff. It forces you to touch literally every single item you own and ask yourself, is this something that I want to continue to hang on to? Is this something that is worth putting in a box and bringing with me and then unpacking once I get there? And you might be more inclined to get rid of more when you are moving because of this reason, but that really got me thinking, do we actually have to move house in order to get this motivation? Or is there a way that we can hack our brain into decluttering like we are moving without actually having to do all of this? If you are new here, welcome. I'm Kallie, also known as That Practical Mom, and today I'm going to be sharing some practical strategies that create a moving mindset so you can declutter more effectively and faster. First up, let's address the maybe stuff. I feel like the maybe stuff is the stuff that comes up a lot more when we are moving. It's a lot easier for us to hang on to this maybe stuff when we are staying put because we don't have to physically move it. We don't have to physically box it up. So we can sort of look at it, be like, I might use that. We don't actually have to do something with it, and so it's easier for it to sort of stick around. But when we are moving, we now have to take this item, we have to put it in a box, we have to put it on a truck, we have to take it to the new house, we have to unpack it, and so we're able to look at our maybe stuff a little bit more effectively. I definitely have my fair share of stuff that I've hung on to just in case, especially because of my season of life. I have small children and I currently am having another baby, and so we have a lot of like child related stuff that I hang on to just in case another baby might need it, which in our mind is a very like logical way to justify something. And that's how I ended up with a corner of my basement that was just full of random baby gear. But as I went through this corner as we were getting ready to move, because I had to physically touch every single item, it really made me address each item individually. And so I think even if you're not moving, you can hack your brain into doing this so that you are forced to physically do something with these items to give you a chance to stop and ask, is this really worth the hassle of doing it? I actually heard an amazing analogy from this on a YouTube video some point, I don't remember when. If you know who it was, feel free to leave it in the comments down below. But this woman was talking about stuff she had in her basement, and essentially there was some sort of like sewage problem. We got sewage all over a bunch of stuff that was in her basement, and it kind of made her ask the question, what stuff do I care about enough that I'm willing to wash poop off of it? It's kind of that same idea when you're moving, right? Because it's like, what do I care about enough that I'm going to tend to it? I'm going to pack it up. I'm going to make sure it's safe. I'm going to take it to the next house, as opposed to just being like, oh yeah, I'm able to use that. I'll continue to just keep it here forever. If I had a catastrophic event in this basement, would I be willing to wash poop off of it? How much do you really value this item? As I was going through my baby gear corner, we have a bassinet that came with our stroller. The stroller comes with this bassinet attachment. It is a very nice bassinet attachment. It fits onto the stroller that we still use to this day. It's high quality, it's beautiful, a baby might use it. But then I realized I don't actually need this because our family never really used this bassinet attachment. I've had 3 babies with this same stroller, about to have my 4th, and I have maybe used this bassinet attachment 2 or 3 times. And so while it's very easy to hang on to it because it is useful and because it is practical, and there are probably people who use this attachment for the stroller, there's a reason that they make it. Another item that came up was actually the travel bag for this specific stroller. We used this travel bag one time when we only had 1 kid, and this was a stroller that we used to travel. Once we had a second child, we bought a stroller specifically for traveling, so we never travel with our day-to-day stroller anymore. But when I changed the question to ask about the item, do I use it? Have I been using it? Does my family use it? How many times have we used it? Instead of just listing the value of an item, list the value of that item to your specific family. A really great way to hack your brain into addressing maybe stuff even when you're not moving is to allow yourself a maybe pile in your home, but remove it from your main living space. Maybe this is a basement or an attic or garage, just somewhere that you keep your extra stuff. And as you declutter, if you come across something that you're not sure about, it's not an obvious yes, but for some reason you're having a hard time putting it in the donate or toss pile, allow yourself to put it in the maybe pile. You can even consider putting a date on this box, and then you're gonna store it out of sight. Now in 6 or 12 or 24 months, you can go back into that maybe box and see all these items that you haven't needed. The thing about a maybe box is you're still allowed to go in there and get those things out. You're not officially getting rid of them in your house. So it's sort of a very safe way to declutter. But what you end up realizing is about 97% of the time, you don't end up going back for any of these items. And so it sort of ends up being a little bit of this aha moment for you of, wow, this item has been in here for all of this time and I never thought about it, I never missed it, and I never needed it. Sort of like my bassinet. At the time of decluttering, there's a lot of yes and no questions that you have to make, and that can be really fatiguing on your mind. And so if you're allowed to put something into a maybe box, it sort of avoids the procrastination or the slowdown, allowing you to declutter a lot faster because you're not getting hung up on all of these yes and no's when you give yourself this sort of gray area of the maybe box. Another simple hack for your brain that you can steal from the motivation of moving is to do category sweeps of your house. So this is when you walk through a space of your house and you focus on just one kind of item. So grab a garbage bag, walk through the house, and just focus on trash. Simply yes or no, what's garbage and what's not. And you can do this with donations. It's great to do on a day you know you're gonna be driving by your local donation center. Grab a box, just look around at anything you could donate. Skim the bookshelves, do a quick browse of your closet. Really often when we declutter, what we end up doing is cleaning and organizing, and certainly these are very important steps, but they distract from the task at hand, which is decluttering. By picking a single category allows you to be more on track, avoid those kind of detours that happen when we declutter. We know that our brain loves to complete tasks. It usually releases a little bit of dopamine. By breaking something big into smaller tasks and then completing each one of them, it's sort of naturally motivating. And you can use that same hack with decluttering. Instead of decluttering a whole bedroom, pick just one little spot, like part of a closet or your desk. Get that little spot decluttered totally and completely, not getting distracted by other areas, and you'll see how great it feels, and then it'll give you momentum and motivation to move on to the next spot. All right, finally, I want to chat about some of the questions that you can ask yourself as you are decluttering. So my husband and I, as we were decluttering our basement this weekend, he had this like random set of hardware to something. And he was like, I think I'm just gonna get rid of it because if I ever needed it, I would just get it again. And I reminded him of something I often ask myself when I'm decluttering, particularly when I'm cluttering those less visited areas that we tend to visit when we're moving, like basements, attics, spare rooms. If I need this in a year, will I know where to find it? If you have a bad habit of keeping lots of little odds and ends because they're technically useful, right? Little kitchen appliances, crafts, DIY supplies, tools, hardware, kid toys, games, then you probably have a lot of little boxes and bins and baskets somewhere to keep them. And while you could look at these things and say, yes, I definitely could maybe need this screw someday in the future, the question is, when that need arrives, will you remember where the exact spot is that you put it? Another question I love to ask myself is it worth the amount of space or time it takes to keep it? I use this one all the time, especially in my main living areas of my home. It is so amazing to me how many things we keep simply because they're just there, without even asking ourselves if it's taking us more work to keep them than it's worth. So let me give you some examples of what I mean here, because I find that this question can be really helpful. Example number one, coffee machine. This takes up basically our entire appliance garage, and our kitchen takes up space for mugs and coffees and the cabinets, but my husband and I both drink coffee every morning and often have a mid-afternoon iced coffee as well. So the space it takes up is worth the amount of time that we use this product for. Another example I always give are my kids' magnet tiles. We have 2 huge baskets. We pick up magnet tiles every day in our home. Basically every day my children are being asked to clean up magnet tiles. I'm finding some on the floor. So they take up a chunk of space and they take a good amount of time to manage. But they are the #1 used toy in our house. All 3 of my kids play with them. We get hours of use of them every single week. And so they're very much worth the time and space and energy that we use to keep them. Another example could be the bassinet attachment that I told you about earlier. It was big and it was bulky and it literally couldn't store anywhere convenient in the basement. I was constantly shifting it around to try to get other things in the basement, and I had not used it in years. It was no longer providing value to me for the amount of space it took up and the amount of time it required me to take care of it. And coming back to my earlier tip about the maybe pile, I always ask, how long has it been since I last needed or used this item? Did this come up last time I decluttered and then I kept it only to just not use it again? Sometimes just the perspective of seeing how long you had something just to never use it can be very helpful. A lot of the ways that I am forced to look at my stuff as I am moving, I really hope to continue to take with me as I move into the next space. I really am going to think about these things like how long has it been since I used it? Would I know where it was if I even needed it? And really being good about managing the maybe stuff in my home. Because let me tell you, it feels so nice when you have finished a big declutter. The feeling of getting rid of a lot of that extra stuff that you didn't need always feels so much better than having some random piece that you maybe might need sometime. As always, thank you so much for stopping by and watching. I hope you found this video helpful. I will link a few more of my best decluttering tips videos down below if you're looking for a little more inspiration and motivation. But I hope you're having a fantastic day. Remember to be kind to yourself and others, and I will see you all in my next video.